Division with sign numbers. Division is just another way of rewriting a multiplication. So the rules for dividing sign numbers is the same as the rules for multiplying sign numbers. So a positive divided by a positive is positive. A negative divided by a negative is the same as a negative times a negative, you get a positive. Positive divided by a negative is negative, and a negative divided by a positive is negative. So for example, 28 divided by 7 is 4. Negative 30 divided by negative 5, you're saying how many negative 5s are in negative 30? And that would be positive 6. If you have a positive divided by a negative, your answer is negative. And if you have a negative divided by a positive, you get a negative. There are some special rules for writing fractions. You cannot leave a negative in the denominator of a fraction. So if you have a negative in the numerator and the denominator, that's a negative divided by a negative, so that's just going to be positive. If you have a positive divided by a negative, the answer is going to be negative, and there's two correct ways of writing it. You can either write it as negative 3 divided by 7, meaning you can write that negative in the numerator, or you can put the negative in front of the whole fraction, like that. Let's do some examples. Negative 10 plus 6 divided by negative 12 plus 8. Remember, when you have operations in the numerator and the denominator, parentheses are implied around the numerator and the denominator. So you have to do this operation, and then divide. Negative 10 and positive 6 have different signs, so you subtract. Keep the sign of the larger. Negative 12 and positive 8 have different signs, so you subtract. Keep the sign of the larger. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is equal to positive 1. All right, let's try another. So we have negative 4 plus 16, all divided by negative 9 plus 6. We have to simplify the numerator, simplify the denominator, and then divide. So negative 4 and positive 16 make positive 12. Negative 9 and positive 6 make negative 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And a positive divided by a negative makes our answer negative. Let's try another one. And remember, you can hit pause and work it out before watching the answer. So, 7 times negative 2 minus 6, all divided by negative 2, the quantity, squared minus 14. So in the numerator, we'll do this multiplication first. A positive times a negative is negative. So we have negative 14 minus 6. Remember, if the negative is inside the parentheses, then that negative gets repeated. So negative 2 squared is negative 2 times negative 2. That's positive 4. We have negative 14 plus negative 6. They have the same sign. So we're going to add and keep the sign. Positive 4 and negative 14 have different signs. So we subtract and keep the sign. (20) divided by 10 is 2. And because we have a negative divided by a negative, the answer is positive. Let's try another one. And again, you can hit pause and try it on your own first. So we have 3 plus 9 times negative 1. We know that's a multiply because they're touching. All of it divided by negative 7 minus negative 5. So we want to simplify the numerator, simplify the denominator, and then divide the result. We'll start with this multiplication. 9 times negative 1 is negative 9. You can either write it as 3 plus negative 9 or simply 3 minus 9. The negative of a negative, that's a multiplication, so you do that first. And always ask yourself, are these touching? And the answer is no. So instead of negative 7 times 5, it's going to be negative 7 plus 5 because they're not touching. Positive 3 and negative 9 make negative 6. Negative 7 and positive 5 make negative 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And because we have a negative divided by a negative, it's positive.